Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to this pick a card reading. So, today's reading is a possible follow on. If you did watch if you read my last reading, if you watched my last reading on what is your role in this lifetime, then this is a continuation of that. But even if you haven't, that doesn't matter. But if you're interested, do go and watch that, because I think it might be cool to look at. But yeah, this is about like what are the next steps in your path. This could be on the path that you're following. It's more to do with like your life path or the path that you're currently going on. You may be looking at a particular trajectory of action in terms of something that you might want to do. So this would be helping you to do that, helping you to discern whether or not that this is the right path to take, or even that if you are on the right path or you feel you're on the right path, what do you do? What's your next step? So 3 paths to choose from, and I didn't realize that, but they were all stones to do with the kind of root chakra in a way, apart from ruby. Ruby is kind of heart chakra, but they're all kind of dark red, like brown, which I thought was interesting. So first of all, for pile 1, we've got this smoky quartz. Pile 2 is this ruby. You can pause the video if you wish and take your time. And pile 3 is aragonite. Okay, so you have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. What's your next steps on this path? Timestamps will be in the description box below, my friends, and I'll see your reading. Bye. Hi, my loves. Welcome to your reading, pile 1. So you chose this smoky quartz, which is really interesting. I got given this piece. I actually got given it with this piece of labradorite. I was told in the comments of the last video that, is that how you pronounce it? Labradorite. But actually it's labradorite. Labradorite, bruh. That's why I remember that. So, but yeah, this was also a gift. So I'm really happy to receive this and work with this piece. It's deeply protective. It's a nice big chunk of smoky quartz, but it also, smoky quartz is like a super powerful stone to be able to discern, to protect you, basically. Yeah. So what I'm getting here, pile 1, you need to protect yourself. Now when I say that, I'm not getting the sensation that it's like things are attacking you or anything like that. I'm just getting the feeling that you need to protect your peace. Does that make sense? Like, there's no need for any drama, no room for any drama, no need to do anything that is kind of outside of your... You don't need to give any effort to anything that doesn't require your effort. Do you know what I mean? This is about you just being focused on what you need to be focused on. And the fact that it's a point, it's the only one out of our stones that was a point. I think that means that you have to be really directed and concentrated and focused on your energy. Now, I personally resonate with pile 1 usually. So if I was to talk about myself in that respect, my energy tends to be quite scattered. So any opportunity that you have to be able to direct your energy, be that in a project that you love, be that in some kind of way that you can concentrate, do it. Anything that's going to train your mind, do it. If you find that certain practices really help you and center you, do it. If there are things that you know that you don't want to do and will disturb your peace, don't do it. That's what I'm getting from this really strongly. Like anything that is going to trouble you, don't do it. So for example, Today I wasn't feeling great, and it was like a whole day of stuff where I would have to go out and be interacting with people. In my older years, I have started to become a lot more introverted, and today is just at that time of the month. I am just really not wanting to be around anybody. And ladies, you'll know what I mean. Like, I don't know, I just have really tough days when it's around my period. So basically, those days are just days that I just want to only go out when it is so necessary, and I don't really feel in the space where I'm going to be doing anything that is going to make me feel bad. So I just decided to stay in today and just nourish myself, and I'm going to cook myself some nice food and just do things that are nice for me. And that's what I'm talking about. Protect yourself in that way. That's what that means. And also, just like, there's no need to get involved in any drama, not need to make any assumptions about anything. Just be clean. So let's have a look at what this card is. All right. So we have initiation, which is interesting. And it's number 44. Now these cards they are read reversed. So I am going to have a look at the book, what it says. Okay, it's got a really nice poem, so I'll read it to you. Look how far I am from where I once was. Look how I set my life on fire, watched it blaze from within. Let it rage on for days unknown, painted myself in the dark, burning charcoal. Laughed with the howling wind, sang to the stars, and song of dreams I never dared to believe. It had to be done. Do you hear me? I walked straight into the storm, but it had to be done. Can you see how free I am? How much was burned away? But look how far I am, where I once was, standing within the dream. A match in my hand. It has to be done. That was amazing, and I'm really glad. I just literally just had a quick glance and it actually said no reversal, so that makes me really happy. Look at that. That's amazing. That to me seems like a hand from God, you know, like a hand from divine that is helping you and instructing you and teaching you. So a new journey, reaching a new level. Initiation is both ending and beginning. This is where we've reached a new way of being and new freedom. So this idea of really honoring yourself, right? It is also where we embark on a new journey as we continue to set our sights to the future. To dream, to create, to vision, to enjoy. We will continue to meet ourselves and our depths in new ways. Old patterns will say hello again. They will feel different each time, and you will feel different. And you will feel different each time, because with initiation, you have reached a new level, and that cannot be taken away from you. Interesting. The art. I wanted to create this image to create the feeling of homecoming. We see a hand that has gone down around the world, and it almost looks like it's going around the earth and rising like the sun, highlighting the cycling and the new beginnings found here. So for me, what I'm seeing is the hand from God. Like, you know, like what I said earlier in terms of this being a continuation from the last reading. Now, for those of you who haven't watched it, that reading contained some incredible, like, it totally inspired me in terms of the types of people that, you know, really are the ones that are going to be the change makers in this world. They are the people that are going to be, and if you did watch that reading and then you're here now, this is amazing, because I think, you know, part of that is also like realizing that you are worthy of this, and that it is the right thing that you're choosing to do, and that you're choosing to be a part of, and that this is a calling. So, you know, you may now feel, okay, there are certain ways I have to be. I don't know if I can actually embody those things. I don't know if this is going to be okay for me. I don't know, like, I'm losing friends. I'm losing this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. it's okay. It's what happens when you reach a new level, when you level up. Certain things, you know, don't kind of matter anymore. They don't have the same kind of resonance. And what's really interesting, I just got a vision actually of like when Super Mario, and this is the first Super Mario, we're talking about like I think Super Mario 1, Super Mario Brothers on the NES, right? Some of you might not know that, but Google it or look it up on the internet and you might find out what it is. But anyway, I just realized that when he's leveling up, he's going through levels. And then also those old levels, you're not really like, you're not looking back on those old levels, are you? You're just literally like working through the levels. You don't go back and redo old levels. Not really. Not unless you want to. But you don't have to. So this is, that's what I thought. I thought, you know, you're kind of not just leveling up, but you've been through processes that you don't really need to revisit. The processes have served their purpose already. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. Let's have a look. What's your next steps on this path? So maybe you're still in the initiation phase. I don't know. Let's have a look. But you are divinely protected by being on this path. So, you know, this is the right path for you to be on. Okay, interesting. Really interesting. Like, I think you've been in denial of this path for a while. And I think God, it's quite, I think I said something similar with the other reading that, you know, there is this denial when shamans or people who are in spiritual kind of communities and they used to like have to acknowledge their power, it was often with trepidation. It wasn't with welcome. It was because they were scared of, you know, what this would mean, and this would be a thing that might ostracize them from the community that they had built previously, or kind of erase their connections that they had had previously. So this is about you being able to kind of move beyond that. I don't know, for me here there's a little bit of an addiction to like old ways of being, and I think what this does, the next step on the path will highlight to where you have been kind of indulgent in the old ways of being, and you have to kind of walk forward with a sense of not, you know, not really giving a fuck. You have to just go for it. And when I mean that, I don't mean about just everybody else. I'm talking about with you. Like, you just have to just jump off the cliff and hope for the best. Now, I'm not talking about being completely reckless. I'm talking about you just going for it and trusting yourself. This is about trusting yourself, because what's happening is that you're starting to realize and see the cycles where you didn't trust yourself. Because we've got judgment reversed. So this is the idea of where like the call has not been ignored. The initiation. Listen, yeah, it's early evening. I don't know why I'm yawning, but like, it's not late evening this time, and I shouldn't be tired, but I always yawn whenever I do readings. Yeah, this is going to highlight like where you haven't made the call before, and you're going to go forward and you're going to go ahead. Now, let me clarify some of these cards, because, you know, the next... Oh, sorry about that. Let me just clarify. Talk to me about this King of... not yet, because otherwise they're all going to go the wrong way. Oh my God. What's going on with these cards? This is why I need to read more often, because the cards are all the wrong way. It is so nice to do some readings. Oh my God. You know, I was still doing private readings with clients these last 6 months where I haven't been reading, but to read a bit more often. So nice. Work with all my different cards. I mean, hey, I didn't get hundreds of decks for nothing, you know, it was for this channel. Right, okay, talk to me about the next steps for pile 1 with this King of Coins, please. Okay, King of Coins, the Four of Cups. Yeah. That makes sense. So there's opportunities where you're going to have to like really, you know, there's opportunities that you didn't fully appreciate until now. You have to recognize like where you haven't taken opportunities before. I think you're going to. That's part of the path. That's what this is about. So it's saying that you're, but and you know, maybe you had doubts about those little things. Maybe you had doubts. And Spirit is saying, well, you're just going to have to jump in. And it's interesting because he's like that. And to me, it looks like somebody who's doing a bit of a dive bomb. Even though he may be just sitting there, minding his own business. He might be on some crazy trip by, you know, smelling that flower. So he might be a bit like, yeah. So yeah, I think you got to go for it. My fellow tarot readers, do you ever have like cards that shuffle like a dream? This deck, oh my God, it shuffles like a dream. The cards don't jump out though as quickly. Okay, the Queen of Swords. You're really hard on yourselves, pile 1. Really hard on yourselves. You kind of in a way are your own worst enemy. You have to like be kinder to yourself. Be more gentle. Be more loving towards yourself. Don't be hard. Be soft. Be kind. Okay. We have the Emperor. Oh, okay. Bit of generational trauma there. And then 9 of Wands reversed. Okay. This is a bit feel the fear and do it anyway. We'll talk about the Emperor reversed in a minute. What's this one? The Moon reversed. Okay. And that's the page. Right. This is where the protection comes in. Okay, right. I'm going to be straight with you. Now, people are going to not like what you're doing. I was sugarcoating it a bit before, but I think there are going to be like, I think people are going to try and say stuff that, you know, doesn't really resonate with you, or maybe they don't really feel that this is something that you should be doing. Let them. I don't really like her, but what was it? Mel Robbins says that. But yeah, like let them say whatever they want to say. Because the thing is that what they are saying is coming from their own insecurities and their own stuff. And people will talk about it. They will. They may even discuss it, but it's nothing to do with you. In fact, it's kind of highlighting their own insecurities. So your next step is opportunities that you may have snubbed previously. They are going to present themselves again, or you are going to see them in a new light. So maybe you didn't really appreciate them at the time, but then you're going to have an opportunity to be able to take them again, or you're going to have to go and take them again. You know, you're going to have to go and sort it out and deal with it. Also, there may be certain ways of living, certain things you've done in the previous, like what you've done previously, you're going to need to like change your way of doing things. You're going to have to just go for it, okay? And I think you will, but you're very hard on yourself. So, I mean, like, don't annihilate yourself for this stuff, right? Just kind of give yourself a good, you know, just give yourself a bit of a clean slate to be able to just jump in. Now, that is all programming. It's all programming from the side of the father, from what I see. If it's not the father, it's from definitely a strong male influence. Or somebody who imposed a dominant, like, male, you know. This could even be patriarchy. It even could be any kind of, like, I can imagine in one case it could be like cultural narcissism. Because cultural narcissism, say for example, in Indian culture, is coming down from, you know, it's saying that the man is the one that we should follow. We should always honor the man. It's always the man who should come first. It's always a man who should look after a woman. Blah blah blah. All that bullshit. That's very much that. But then that comes from the male kind of like generational side. It could be mothers that implement that about, you know, how a woman should behave in like society, or in as a, you know, how certain things are illegal, like you can't be gay in certain areas and things like that. What will people think? I know that isn't just specifically to like South Asian culture. I know that happens in Irish Catholic culture. It happens in like all sorts of Asian cultures. So it's not specific. This is more to do with like conservative kind of aspects that hinder and disallow any kind of like reasoning in terms of calling. So what that means is that just recognize that that is a obstacle. And I think that's probably what like links these two, because look, they look very similar, you know. People are going to bitch. Let them. Nine of Wands, like the state of urgency that is occurring actually comes from the fact that you are pissed off. And for those of you who saw my last reading, I talked a little bit about something that I was doing, you know, on the back burner. Well, not on the back burner. It's something that I decided to kind of go down instead of like pursuing or continuing to go with shamanism. And the reason why I stopped doing shamanic work, or I only do it on private recommendation, or if people come to me and they want to do shamanic work with me, this is now the only way I work, is because when I started to teach shamanism in London, it wasn't really widely kind of welcomed. I don't know. Well, I don't think London was very ready for shamanism or for shamanic journeying and integrity within shamanic journeying and altered state spaces. And that's what I am working in towards. So basically, and for those of you who are interested, I will leave a link in the description box, because I'm starting to write about it. And basically I'm opening a Substack, because no longer will I be doing anything on social media or anything like that anymore. Like, if you want to contact me, you'll be able to do so via email. But no longer am I doing anything on social media or anything like that. You'll only see my work in the form of like tarot that will be here, or you will see it as like, you know, as my writing, which will be on Substack. So you'll see that there, the link in the description box below, if you want to see my Substack. I don't know if I will mention this to pile 2 and 3. We'll see. I'll probably have to. But what I meant by that, right, is that piece of work got born out of a complete like reaction to patriarchy, to injustice, to what I saw that was wrong. What was the gap that needed to be filled? You know, if you want to look at it from a sales perspective. So your reaction is coming from a space of defense. You're like, fuck this shit, man. I'm fucking like doing something about this. So yeah. And then you've got the moon reversed. The moon reversed and the page of chalices. Now the page of chalices reversed, the page of cups reversed isn't really the nicest like kind of person anyway. But also I think it's a little bit of a warning. It also says to you, like, make sure that you are coming from a space which is like compassionate, because I think if you don't if you don't engage in a compassionate way and in a loving way, you will end up like bringing out like the worst in people. So like thinking of this as advice to myself in terms of my writing, because it came from like a really angry place. So whereas like now I've refined it obviously, and it's like, it's hopefully just more entertaining than anything else. It's deep, don't get me wrong, but it's entertaining, I think. Well, that's the feedback that I've got. So this kind of like says to me that your shadow will come and chase you and make itself known as the page of chalices. If you know, just watch out for that. Just watch out for that. But otherwise, like, I'm not really that bothered like with it. I think this seems pretty good. Initiations are not an easy thing. They're not an easy thing, and not every step will be easy. So you just have to navigate it. It's a good thing you got me in it. Then I'm showing you how to like navigate it. Good thing we've got the tarot. Okay, let's have a look. So we've got the quarter moon. Picking up speeds, make decisions, align actions and words, challenges, decisions, action, growth, balance, be measured, be flexible, good for celebrating and charting progress. And the magician. It's reversed. I think you've really got to like manage your energy. That's what I said, no drama. Like that's what that is about. No drama. In the words of Mary J. Blige, no more drama. Let's have a look at some chakra energy. Beautiful. Relationships, sacral chakra, number 8. So strength. Okay, now what I'm getting here is that even though I said at the beginning that maybe you're going to like have to let go of certain relationships, please remember the relationships that have got you into a certain place and been able to support you. If those people don't want to like be on your side anymore or don't want to be around you anymore, yes, that is their problem. But there's also people that did like help you. So just remember them. Just like, you know, be thankful for them. Even if they don't see you. You know, they don't like really recognize where you are. How can I say this? Like, even if they don't understand like where you are, it doesn't matter. Like, literally, and God, it's so easy for me to say. And if you read that Substack piece, you'll understand that, like, it's fucking not easy to understand why people can't really like be compassionate with you when you are compassionate with them, when you've given them the kind of like opening, you've been kind, you've done all the things that tick the boxes to say that you've done the right things, but yet they still behave in a certain way that just baffles you and makes you think that you've done everything wrong. That's something to watch out for. What I see here, this is a really gorgeous like orangey kind of like yellow color. So what I'm seeing here is about you maintaining your sense of power and integrity, and it is going to be difficult. And the fact that it's come underneath this stone and we've got the number 8, which is strength, tells me that they are going to challenge you to fuck. And so does this. So, and chalices, that's cups, that's emotions. So you might get fucking triggered, yo. You might get triggered. by these things. You might get triggered all the way. To be fair, this is quite a triggering like start. It's like a runner that like fucks up at the very beginning, and then what you've got to do, your challenge is to make sure that you don't let that ruin the rest of the race. I'm not saying that this is like a bad start. I'm just saying that something it's not an easy start. It's like babies that are born with difficulties or like things like that. Not difficulties, but just not super smooth. But do we let that, mark us? Do we let that continue to kind of harm us? No, we just fucking just carry on, and we just do what we've got to do. Do you know what I mean? Another example, like if, say for a baby's got some complications, it gets born and it's got a few complications and it has to go in. Do we lament about how that baby is going to be kind of injured, or, kind of worry about that? Or do we just focus on the here and now and how we could make this situation better? Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Continue to improve yourself. That is stunning. So that kind of like says to me, like, she's got half her head chopped off, but look, she's going to grow something beautiful. That's stunning. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. Right, okay, and we got some animal energy. Armadillo. Groundedness. Oh, wow, look at that. 7. Interesting. Okay, what I'm getting from that card, because it looks Aztec, right? Aztec, or at least Mexican of some sort. Okay, armadillo, number 7. 7 is challenging. 7 is really challenging. Shout out to my life path number 7s. I hear you. It's a fucker. Anyway. Let me just see what the book says, because the book is usually really good for these. It's got some things that are nice to say about them. But like for me initially, I'm feeling like the armor that one has to build. Like armadillos are pretty cute, but like, they are really, their armor, it's all about protection. So we're coming back here to this idea, and also the sun. So it's also like power. And I mean, these civilizations weren't gentle, like really, they were fierce civilizations, those Mexicans. I don't know, Aztecs, Toltecs, Mayas. Yeah, that's the feeling that I've got here. Without grounding ourselves, we can become disconnected and flighty. It is an important aspect to develop. Plug into the power of the earth. Avoid drama in situations. That's exactly what I said. Humility is a positive trait. Let me just have a look. Interesting. What is that? Is that God L or God I? Okay. Right, the god walks slowly but surely upon the earth. He is of high age and leans a little on his walking stick, but moves smoothly. His shoes are heavy, but they feel the earth with every step. This grandfather, Mam, is wise and eternal. He wears the hat of the bird of the night. He walks from the underground. He has the ears of a jaguar. For he is the one who powerfully walks through the darkest of nights. He wears a cape of armadillo shell, for he is protected and grounded and carries all he needs with him. A man of magic, he smokes the herbs of vision, yet he weaves the worlds together while being sure upon his feet. Love that. Okay, so it's apparently he's like one of the major Mayan. Mayan deity. So, oh my God, in the Aztecs, they called them turtle rabbits. What the fuck? That's so cute. Turtle rabbits. Turtle rabbits, guys. Turtle rabbits. They're turtle rabbits. That's so cute. I love that. So turtle rabbit is with you. The medicine of armadillo. I love that. It's very earth, you know. All I think I said at the beginning of the reading, like when I was looking at the three of them, the three of the stones, they were all like they were all earth stones. They were all a lower chakra. So armadillo magic is profoundly earth-based. There we go. It is ancient and profound and can be used when you're feeling off kilter and unsure and not sure what to do next. So, okay, because of this rocky path, because it is a bit rocky, not gonna lie, armadillo is going to help you. And that's why 7 is there, because it's kind of saying, well, it's a life path 7, so do you know what I mean? Life path 7 has never been easy. It reminds me of what a friend said to me. She said, like, you know, life path 7 is like the path of the one who is like out there discovering what's going on, out there looking at what's happening, and being able to acquire knowledge. It's not an easy path. It's not about building things. It's about acquiring knowledge. So I'm not saying that even if you're not life path 1 and life path 7, it's about those qualities that are being embodied. Oh, but you know what? It's fine, because you've got a spiritual hug on its way to you, my little darlings. And look at that. Look at the colours. It matches. I like that. I need a hug. I need a spiritual hug. I think we all could do with a spiritual hug right now. That's why I said, like, at the beginning, you've got to do things that nourish you, do things that make you feel good, because when are you going to get to do it, man? We have no idea. We have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Okay, so the next deck, which will be the last one, will be some divine timing. Yeah, so these are like... Okay, they're called Angel Hour cards. Yeah, I think that's what they were supposed to be called. So, yeah, sorry, because I wrote down the names of them, and then... yeah, the Angel Hour cards. So let's have a look at what numbers, divine timing, is important for you to pay attention to you right now. Well, isn't that funny? 4-4 brings structure to your life. And it's interesting because the Emperor is 4 as well. Seeing the Angel Hour 4-4 is an invitation to assess your goals and make plans for their realization. Break down your aspirations and take simple steps to take consistent action towards them. The angels are guiding you to trust in your abilities and stay dedicated to your path. Okay. With that being said, I think there is something I just need to review when it comes to this Page of Cups here, okay? Now, I definitely think that with this Queen of Swords and also with the Moon reversed, you are your own worst enemy. You have to be really careful about how you talk to yourself, how you conduct yourself. And this is why it comes back to making the most out of your routines and what you're doing. Now, if you're like me, and this is something that's quite hard to implement, you know, because I'm a pure creative and I've been disrespecting that for the majority of my life. So, like, I have to respect in terms of cycles, like how I work. So there are like moments where I'm super creative and I'll end up doing a lot of stuff at once, and then there'll be seasons where I'm not like that. And it's about understanding those orders and those ways, those cycles that you work within, and that is how you understand and how to bring structure to your life. anger and something like that is something that motivates you and is able to push you forward. If that kind of thing does motivate you, then you need to pay attention to that. But you also need to pay attention to how to harness that energy. Now, you know, we live in a world where people, you know, we're living to like, you know, trying to make money, we're trying to hustle, we're trying to do all of these things. But particularly when you're working in spaces where you are healing, where you're healing other people, and if this is if this is anything to do with that last reading that I did, then we are in, you know, the way to make your living in this world right now is going to be a healer. It really is, because people need hope. People need the ability to heal, because everybody is just having a hard time right now. So the ability to heal people are looking for help, answers. They're looking for things. And not only that, they're looking for people who are grounded enough to do it. So you're going to be very busy, I think, pile 1. You're going to be very busy. And I really feel that it is important for you to remember your why of you doing this. Don't get in your own way, and don't be your own worst enemy. Don't talk badly about yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Protect yourself from any negative energy. And I'm not talking just about from other people. I'm talking about your reactions to other people. Okay? So, there was a bit of coaching there for you as well. And quite a serious message for your first steps on this path. And even if you don't understand what or know what the actual, like, you know, what's going on, what's the actual next things to do on this path, that's okay. Just take it one step at a time. It will reveal itself to you. So that was interesting, part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm like thinking, shit, man, I've got some shit to do, yo. I'll leave my Substack in the description box below. I'm not sure how it's going to be received. I'll be honest with you. But I do know that essentially there's like certain people that I want to see that. And the only way is to kind of like accept that some people aren't going to like it. And that's fine. I think that's the same thing with like these readings, that some people don't agree. Some people don't resonate. They want to hear other shit. They don't want to hear things that are going to improve their life. They want to go into a space where they can disconnect and disassociate and be told that they are, you know, that they are going to become the next spiritual advisor to, I don't know, help loads of people, blah, blah, blah. We all know that it's not as simple as that. And I'm here to bring you reality. I've got Virgo, Mars in Virgo, man. You ain't getting nothing nice and fluffy from me. So that's just a warning as a precursor to the Substack post. But the feedback that I've got generally has been pretty good. So I hope you enjoy it. And this reading has been quite intense, but you know, it is what it is. The cards are giving the advice that they need to. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Take care. Have a wonderful morning, evening, night, or day, whenever you're choosing to watch this. Remember, I'm giving you this massive spiritual hug as well, and it's not just me being arsey and rude or whatever, or just not being very, like, soft. I'm sending you a big hug. I promise. Take care, and remember, honesty is always key. Bye. Hi, and welcome, pile 2. Hope you're good. What are the next steps on your path? Now, just to let you know, right, I spoke to pile number 1 about a few things, so I think it's only fair that I share. Now, but I don't know, I've kind of been coming up with it in the reading, because I don't really like wasting time. So, no, I've mentioned it, so I'll talk about it. So basically, I have been working on a Substack. That's been my kind of thing. I'm not going to be advertising anymore. If you do want any of my services, then you will have to contact me directly, because it's just been very difficult to advertise. And not only that, in a sea of people that you don't know whether or not that they're telling you the truth, or whether or not that they actually have your best interest at heart, I'm in no position to prove to you whether or not that that's the case. It's up to you whether or not you feel that you trust me enough to go on that, based on what you know of me so far. Now, I put myself directly on YouTube, and I'm able to talk to you about stuff if you have, if you want to contact me directly. I've been reading tarot cards for a really long time, almost 25 years now. Also, I've been doing spiritual work and whatnot, and I've had very good results. I also have worked with people on an academic level and not only in an experiential level. So, if you want to have my services, you're very welcome to come and email me if you wish. And also we can have a chat. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But if you really want to know about what I'm going forward in terms of doing, then follow my Substack, which will be in the description box below. It has some very intense stuff there, just to let you know. I've just written one piece, but that's been kind of like a piece that's been very close to me, and I'm just putting it out there, and then we'll see how it builds. But if you continue to follow that, then that will start to grow, and then you'll start to see what it is that I'm actually like talking about a bit more in terms of what I'm proposing to do in terms of my work. I know it sounds a bit cryptic, but go and read it and you'll find it. So with that being said, what I'm seeing here is the kind of determined nature of this ruby. Like, even though like rubies are passionate, rubies are fiery, rubies are about heart chakra, but there is also something about the root chakra, this red, this dark ruby red, which kind of like gives me the feeling of garnet, kind of like. Also the black as well that I can see, but I think that is also part of the ruby. I remember I got given this ruby. It's so cool, man. It's just a fucking cool stone. And it also like shows the years and years and years that have been kind of that have been like where each of each like level of the stone has grown. Can you see that? Can you see those triangles? That's the kind of like almost like rings of a tree. So the next steps for you, pile 2, is for you to honor that about your journey and be passionate in understanding that each of those parts make up a part of this journey. Does that make sense? So I have the Odyssey Oracle here. When I turn it over, there's usually like a poem that comes with it. And also there is, it can either be read reversed. Now the last card I didn't realise, but it is only read upright. This might be the same, but let's see. Okay, well it's upright anyway. So this is return. Wow. 43. This is the card before, like 44 was the card for pile 1. So that's interesting. 44, beautiful card with this holding out of the hands. 43. Okay, let's have a look. Return. So what does this say? We walked together all my life, and yet can't seem to remember your name. Can you remind me? Can you tell me who you are and where you came from? but I have places to go and many things to do. I'm sure we've met before. I swear I once knew everything there was to know about you. But I can't seem to remember your name now. Can you remind me? Wow. Wow. Freedom and neutrality. I love that. Love that. So first of all, before I dive into the actual meaning in the book, number 7. Okay, 43 equals 7. Okay, I mean, this is like a grown woman's hands, but the first thing that came to me was about child, return to innocence, return to child, return to essence, return to sense of self, return to the light, return to something that was pure, return to something that was simple. That's what I'm feeling. Return to the joy, to the divinity. I don't want to go wanky, but I mean, like, there's this return to the sense of self before it was corrupted. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look what the book says. With return, our progress comes into sharp focus, and it's usually more than we even realized. Return is when we find ourselves in situations that would trigger old cycles, reactions, and wounds, but now it feels different. It's really interesting. This actually, like, this relates to pile 1 as well. So if you felt like you wanted to go to pile 1, do that. Read them both. In undoing, we are visiting these spaces and realizing there is more work to be done. That is the work. In return, we visit and realize that we are free. Wow. Interesting. So when was undoing? Is that another card or something? I don't know. In return, we revisit. We realize we are free. Sorry, we visit and we realize we're free. So what that means is that you return. So this kind of thing where you come back and you do the same thing and you realize like what you've outgrown. It's very similar to pile 1, actually, what I was saying. This could look like being around family and seeing that despite them all creating the same drama or issues, trying to pull you in, you don't feel the same way you used to. You don't notice the passive aggression. You don't care what they're thinking or wanting from you because you're no longer aligned with their dynamic. This neutrality can help us cultivate compassion and empathy for people we once resented and triggered us. Return is a card that honors your progress and asks you to do the same. Okay, with return, this is what the art is about. The artist wants to create the image of holding wisdom that you didn't have before. There is so much that we've accumulated to be held and reflected upon with the return. It's truly a moment that we realize how much we've gained. Okay, I'm trying to like discern the difference between this and pile 1 because there is a difference. But let me continue. Let me crack on with the reading and let me see. What is pile 2's next steps? Can you tell me that? What's pile 2's next steps in this path? Now, if some of you did read the previous reading that I did, the one on like, what is your role in this lifetime? This may be something that, you know, resonates. But if not, that's fine as well. You don't have to watch that reading. But please do, because it's good reading. They're all good, but you know what I mean. That one was really nice to do. It was my own return to the to YouTube after 6 months away. 6 months, man. That was a long time. Okay, so what do we have here? We have that. Okay, interesting. Pile 1 got that card. Then we have, oh, yeah. I love this deck, man. Right, okay, so are you good? Yeah, okay. Pile 1 also got this card as well. Okay. I need to stop talking about pile 1. But clearly, I think if some of you are drawn to it, go watch it. That is so interesting. I love the way that certain decks, like I have over 100 tarot decks, which isn't that much for like some, YouTube tarot readers, I know. But Six of Cups is usually a very different kind of cup. There's a different kind of card that's shown in the tarot. But this one, I mean, look at it, man. It's not, it doesn't show like childhood experiences and stuff. Like that's what the Rider-Waite version of the deck is. This shows someone saying, no, don't do it. What does that mean? So this means consider your actions before you go forward by learning from what you've done. Hold on and remember me. Hold on and remember the innocence inside of you before you destroy anything, before you go and react in the same way. In resonance with this card, right? We have the Ten of Wands here. She looks sad as fuck. We have the chalices. We have the Page of Chalices. Page of Cups. We have the Fool, and then we have the Ten of Swords. Okay. So, this card, right, is part of a deck called the Odyssey deck. And the Odyssey is about someone returning home. It's about someone coming back home. And it is not an easy journey. It is not something that is a happy, joyful journey where it's like a bunch of sailors all sailing on the boat and it's like, you know, they're all singing about how happy they are that they're finally going home. This journey has taken 20 years. And a lifetime has passed within that time. It's a bit long, man, and it's a bit tough, and it's a bit hard, and it's not easy. The next steps on this path, God, we had such a joyful reading in that last reading, and that not the last reading as in like, you know, what's your role? But the work is pretty tough, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. In fact, it almost feels like you're going to have to enter a space where there has been quite a lot of pain and you're going to have to just go through it. Actually, you know what it reminds me of? So today I was listening to a particular professor. He's amazing. His name's Professor Jiang, and he uses history to predict like what's going to happen in history, and he predicted some major political events, which was exceptional. So he's not talking woo-woo. This isn't like some like, and it's really interesting because tarot readers are like reading. There's particular tarot readers that I listen to that talk about politics, and they're good, but they're not as good as he is, and he's not using tarot or anything like that. But he's also talking about the about certain texts, and one of them is the Odyssey. And he says about how that Odysseus is coming back home, but he is in a state of trauma. Like he is in a state of space where he is feeling really down about what he's done. And he's realizing that the very reason why he went off to go and fight this war was fair enough. It was about the glory of him like fighting war, you know, for Greece. But then there was a moment that he kind of realized that this was not right for him. And he asked the bard, like basically, so when he was, there's a part where he's like trapped by this goddess Calypso. And then they throw a big party for him because Athena says to Calypso, you have to like let him go because he needs to go back home. And then, so Calypso throws a big party for him. And in this party, there's a bard there who sings about the kind of legend of the war. And Odysseus is just crying. He's just crying. So in this, he says that, you know, actually, can you sing? Can you go on and say about this part when we took the Trojan horse into Troy, and about how we took over the city? And then the bard retells that, and it's like partly the most painful part that Odysseus had to go through. And this willingness to be able to like look at that and just, you know, meet that grief, meet that pain, and get over it is part of the journey. That's what this is saying. Sorry, Pile 2. It's a bit tough, man. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fucking tough. Shit, man. This is not an easy reading. I might need to put a trigger warning on this shit. God, I've only been back for 2 readings. This is the second one and already trigger warning. But yeah. It's all pretty, like, it's pretty intense. But I mean, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is always, yes, it's a devastation. It's an ending. Now, I'm not saying that, like, oh, yeah, that's what's going to happen to you. What I mean is that there is going to be some painful things that you may need to revisit in order for you to get through a certain space. So, for example, you may need to go to a place where, okay, what's the lightest version of this story that I could say? I don't know, man. Like, say, like, you've done something that you regret and you know that you're going to need to make it right, or not even make it right, but you know that you're going to have to deal with the consequences of being able to see someone that might have been affected by that. That's what this is. And you are going to have to be like a pliable little baby. Like, there isn't any reaction. And I think that will occur naturally. Whereas, like, with Pile 1, they were still in the space of where they were, like, reactive, but they were making steps because of that. And, you know, in a way, they didn't really care whether or not that they pissed off people. And I can fully say that because I resonate with Pile 1. But whereas, like, with you, Pile 2, it's almost like the sadness is really prevalent. It's really there. And you have there's nothing but gentleness here. I can't see like anything too like I can't see anything forceful. Pile 1 was forceful. I was like trying to discern the difference between you and Pile 1. And the difference is that you are approaching with more of a sense of like humility and sadness. Not to say that Pile 1 didn't do that, but it's more that it's time to just like, I wouldn't say suck it up because we've got 2 10s here and they're both heavy 10s, you know, but this one is growing up and this one is like coming down. So this can be in a way more about the thoughts, and about the thoughts are heavier than what is actually rising, you know. But it is like tangled weeds that need to be kind of like, you know, and it is like good stuff. Look, we've got stars here, man. So it's like, to me, it says like that even though that these are like beautiful flowers that have come from this pain, that there is something to kind of like work through here. Yeah, there is. And, you know, partly like seeing how much progress you've made sometimes is the pain. You know, you kind of think, oh, shit, man, that was really tough. Sometimes, you know, you realize like how much you didn't really pay attention to how things were. You just kind of muddled through. You just kind of got on with it and just like, yeah, I'm just going to just do it. And then it hits you. Like, I'll give you an example. The other day I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is like one of my favourite films. And I've seen it about 5-6 times. I've seen it enough. I've seen it a lot of times. Like when it first came out, I saw it 3 times, and then like I saw it another, and this was the 5th time. Oh my God, Pile 2. I cried so much. Like, I just cried and cried and cried. and cried some more, so much that my fucking face was sore. Like, it was just so painful to revisit, not even revisit, to experience that catharsis of pain. But fuck me, man, I felt better. Like, it needed to happen. It needed to happen. I'm not saying that that's what's gonna go here, but that's the feeling I'm getting here, man. That's what I can sense here. So this is what this path is, you know? It's not good or bad, it just is. It's just a bit painful at the moment. And this is temporary, right? Temporary. Swords are the most temporal suit. And we don't have any pentacles here. It's all very temporal. So this could change from week to week. This could change this will change in a very short amount of time. But, you know, feelings are like that. Sensations do. They rise and they pass away. They rise and they pass away. But we have to recognize them. We have to process them. We have to work through them. God, man, I'm sorry if this has turned into like some boring kind of counselling session. I do apologise. But it's quite deep, you know? When is my tarot readings ever deep? Why am I always so fucking surprised by that? I don't know. It's jokes, isn't it? Anyway, Four of Cups reversed. That's crazy. We got that the right way up. And see, this is like... I don't know, if you came from pile 1 and you were also like attracted to this pile, this might be the stage that you're at or the stage that you're working towards. Because I think pile 1 we're still stuck in that. There's a little bit of like arrogance, not arrogance, but like there's still a bit of anger, not arrogance, anger. But it was work, like it was a means to an end. It wasn't just being angry for the sake of angry. It was because processing was still occurring. Okay, so we've got the Sun. And then we've got the Queen of Wands upright. Good. Okay, are we straight? No, clearly not. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pop this guy here and pop you up here because like then we can... Oh, hi. The Star. Okay. I'm getting really like, I can feel it in my chest, man. It's just that feeling you get when you return to something and you're just like, fuck. You know? When you come back to a place and you're just like, oh God. Like I remember that this used to be very different. The Two of Pentacles. Okay, reversed. So seeing something like that could destabilize you. It's fine. I mean, grief is destabilizing. And I think like to a certain extent, we have to just be really, really honest with ourselves that this is how grief works. Grief is not about you stabilizing yourself. Grief is about letting it go. Oh, I could cry right now, to be honest. Okay, let's talk about these clarifiers. The Four of Cups clarifying, reverse clarifying the Six of Cups. You know, you're listening to yourself, okay? Yeah, this is definitely pile 1, how the next progression. This is the next step for pile 1. Like you are really, your step is to come back and see where you've got to act differently. You're acting differently in the way that you're accepting where you came from, and you're taking advantage of spaces where you didn't, and you're just doing it. You're just falling into it. It's not, there is no kind of thinking about it. You're just doing it. That's what happens when you've reached like a certain level and you return. The Ten of Wands and the Sun, you know that you know that there's happiness on the other side of this pain. You know that it can't rain all the time. That's a quote from The Crow. We've got the Queen of Wands here, which is clarifying this Page of Cups. You know that, you know, there's joy to be found in the things that make you feel good about yourself. And it's okay to indulge in those things. It's okay to remember that you are, you know, your own inner queen, and you are giving yourself the love you need in the way you need to. And that's fine. You're also coming to terms with the fact that the way that you surrender yourself completely is by you. When you have no hope, it sounds really, you know, it sounds really kind of counterproductive, but it's almost like, well, I've got nothing. You know, it's that whole thing of like, rock bottom is the most solid ground that you can like build from. That's what I'm getting here. So you've got the ability to just start from nothing and just use that as your opportunity to just slowly just build up again, to take the next step, to return. 10 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. I think not just like the destabilization of this process, but also revisiting how this process or how these events or how these things destabilized you or made you behave in a destabilizing way is what you will be revisiting. So the next steps for you, pile 2, is to work through this. You know, you're going to be visiting places that are not going to make you feel good, and you just have to surrender and understand like the points of why you did what you did when you did it, and why, and also facing the actions of your consequences. And that's not easy, but it is what it is. I've been playing this game called God of War. I don't know if some of you have played it, but there's some really fucking cool lines in that game, man. Like, I was bawling my eyes out. And, you know, it's about, it's very, actually, I didn't realize, but it's actually quite connected to the Odyssey. When I was like listening to Professor Zhang's interpretation of it, I thought, hang on a minute, that's exactly like this game. So they probably did model the game on that. But essentially, one of the lines is we are not our actions. We are not our past. We are not our past deeds. We are what we make of it now. We are what we do now, you know? And there's an opportunity to be better. So just remember that. No, there's too many. Yeah, just remember that you're working with that. Like, it's not just about what you were. And I think, to be honest with you, like, when you see that like, there will be a part of you that will be down about it. But I think you will also, and it will, as I said, destabilize you. But I think part of you will be able to realize that there's nothing that can be done about it. And all you can do is just be better. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Because what I'm talking about is something that's kind of like, it's like if you made a decision that impacted other people but didn't actually think about the consequences of how that would affect other people. That's what this is. Okay, so we've got 8th house. Is that 8th house or is that South Node? No, it's South Node reversed. What does that say? The Fool. Lunar Node, karmic path, gifts carried over from a previous lifetime, comfort zone, falling back position, easy but not fulfilling. So when you took the easy way out and you didn't really think about the consequences of actions. That's what this is saying. And then we've got Venus here as well. So Venus is cool, but it can be quite irrational, yeah? Venus is hot-headed. Like, she don't give a fuck, you know, about what's going on, what she's doing. She just kind of like goes with her passions, and that's it. And I think that's what this is about. It's about realizing and understanding the consequences. It's a tough first couple of steps, man. This ain't easy. Okay. Wow, look at that, number 20. That is judgment and listening throat chakra. Beautiful. Talk about it. Talk to people. Talk about what's going on. Talk to the people that might be involved. Talk to the people. Talk about it. Be open. Yeah? Talk about what's going on, okay? But also, sorry, I just realised I'm saying talk, but it says listening. So maybe you got to listen. Is there a message for me? High Priestess as well. So it's Judgment and the High Priestess. So just listen to what's going on. Listen to what's happening. Listen to how you feel about things. Listen to what's around you. Listen to those situations and those people. Listen. These cards shuffle so good. Okay. Part of the joy of the card reading is shuffling cards. Circumstances have changed. Make changes to meet the new normal. Interesting. Pivot. Pivot your position. Pile 2. Pivot. Did you know that you can pivot? Did you realize that you could pivot to change your stance? Did you know that? Okay, so let's get you some animal energy. Hair, look at that. 31. 31 is 4 cycles. This is so interesting. So interesting. So if pile 1 was the initiatory step, this is the actual like walking of the path. You know? So if you've come from pile 1, here's your second reading. This is part 2. And if you are feeling a little bit confused, maybe go to pile 1. Maybe that's something, if you feel drawn to. I had some people on my other reading read all of them. So, yeah. Let me have a look at hair, because the book has some beautiful things in there about hair. Oh, they all look really cute, little bunnies. There's even a bunny on her head. Can you see that? Also, when I'm reading this, we are in March. So March is the month of the hare in the UK. Okay, 31. Excuse me. So follow the cycles of nature and you'll be rarely disappointed, as energy travels in cycles. That's what I was talking about at the very beginning. Seek balance. There is a time and season for everything. Plants cannot blossom all the time, so be patient. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce that. Oestra? Eostre? E-O-S-T-R-E. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. The goddess of spring and her hair were walking at dawn in a crisp morning at the beginning of the season. The morning was very beautiful, yet still cold, as the winter snows had begun to melt. As they walked, they came upon a small bird drying and freezing, dying. Shit, sorry. As they walked, they came upon a small bird dying in the freezing but melting snow. Oh, I'm ruining all the cards now. Right, there we go. There she is. And distressed at its condition, Eostra picked up the tiny soul and tried to revive it and warm it, but its life was too far gone to save. Feeling love and pity for the creature, Eostra transformed the bird back into an egg, giving it the chance to be born again. She placed the egg upon the earth and it hatched. Out came a hare, a mate for her companion, and the three of them continued on their journey. That is cool AF, man. The hare has been part of the mythos in every culture whose countries they have made their home. Hares are very commonly linked to with the lunar cycle. If you look up, you'll see the shape of the hare and the moon. I love that. And in the stories of fertility and love, the constellation Lepus is a hare. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Let's just have a look. I'm just having a little read of the rest of the... Wow, so the European hare has a very long breeding cycle of 8 months from January to August. And then from September to December, then they just like stop. They can't. So they have a bit of a break. This right now is the peak reproductive period. So this is a very like fertile time. So it's about the lunar cycle. Okay, interesting. So, I mean, what I get from that is just respecting the cycles, respecting that some people also may not be in the same cycle of growth that you are. That's a biggie. Because when you revisit these situations, like, people may still not like you. People may still remember what you did. People might not be able to forgive you. People might not be able to remember, like... They just might not be in the space that you are and able to, you know, kind of be with them. And that's okay, because that's them and you're you. Know what I mean? Nobody said walking on the path was easy, man. But we just have to do it, don't we? Okay, so these are lovely cards. They're really nice. And you got 2. It's because I said it's not easy. So Spirit was like, okay, Reena, don't be too hard on them. Just give them some nice stuff. Okay, so you have the power to make yourself better. And that comes back to what I was saying about how people are, maybe they're not able to see you. Maybe they're not able to see the journey that you've taken. They're not able to see you do the things that you've done. But you know it. And that's all that matters, right? I know it's hard. Trust me. Trust me. Go and read my Substack. That will tell you everything. And it's time to move forward. So some people won't be able to meet you there. They won't be able to meet you there, and that's fine. That's fine. God, this is heavy, man. Shit. I'm gonna need to like dance around to like some funky stuff after this. Do that after this, because it's intense, this reading. Okay, this is the last card, and they're called the Angel Hour cards. So this is like some energy and information to kind of help you to kind of think about divine timing and stuff, and also numbers if you see these numbers. 70707. Seek knowledge. This is an invitation to deepen your spiritual practice and connect with your inner self. Seek knowledge and engage in activities that nourish your soul and listen to the whispers of your intuition. The angels are guiding you to embrace your spiritual journey and align your actions with your higher purpose. Okay. So this is about you being able to increase your understanding of how these things are happening to you. That's the way I see it. Cycles will educate you and help you understand. And trust me, you may not like it, but it's going to be valuable. You know, I think in the last reading, I thought that was going to be this reading. Like it was going to have full of hard truths and whatnot. But actually, it was like more of a confirmation in terms of like what the roles were. This reading is like both of the readings, 1 and 2. And fuck knows what's going to happen with 3. Like, they're always in for a wild ride. But this is telling me that the path is not an easy thing to do. The path is not an easy place to walk. It's not easy because we have fears. We have things that we're, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's the core component of it. It's fear, because we don't know what the fuck's going to happen. We don't know what kind of certainty we're living in. We don't know how we've just got to keep on just taking one step at a time. And that's all we can do. And gain knowledge from each of those moments. That's all we can do. So this is why this reading is quite difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy reading. But hey, those of you who come to me know that I don't tell you because I'm not a downer. I'm just a Virgo who's got their Mars in Virgo. And my priority is to maintain ethics in terms of how I speak to you, in terms of how I communicate with you, in terms of how I conduct my practice. That everything is ethically bound, so that when you enter, you know that you are in a safe space. That's all. That's all I can say. Within this reading, we are in a safe space for me to tell you this information. You do not have to take it. You can chuck it in the bin. I don't care. It's up to you. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying things as they are. So if you enjoyed this reading, great. Give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, just say, I don't know. Just, you know, it's like as if you watched it's like as if you played a game for half an hour and you're thinking, shit, man, I just wasted half of my hour on a game. That's fine. Just leave it. It's information. It's information. Where is it? Where did it say information? It's all information. I don't know. We saw that before. But it's like all information. And then you choose what you want to do with it, or what, you know. You just leave it. But, I mean, I hope you found this useful. I really did. It was an intense message. Have a wonderful morning, evening, night, or day whenever you're choosing to watch this. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me ramble. Fudge hell. Oh my god, it's been a long reading. I'm sorry. I've been rambling. Take care, guys. See you. Bye. Hello, Pole 3. Welcome to your reading. So, Aragonite. You know, this stone is really interesting because I remember I always wanted one of these stones. And it's a little diddy one. But it's so interesting. It's almost like there's just loads of different things like happening at once. And for me, you know, you've got kind of, there's a lot of different steps that you can take. Like what this reminds me of is these steps, these kind of like big hexagonal steps that are in, I think by the sea in somewhere in Ireland. If anybody is knowing of this place, please do put it in the comments. And I really need to go there. But yeah, it reminds me of that. Like, this is about stepping stones and space, and almost I can imagine like this being like a little world, and you know, stepping onto different steps. But also what I can see is that there is different things that you have tried in your life, or that you have attempted in your life, and some are bigger than the other. You know, like this particular column of crystal is bigger, this one is also big. You've got ones that protrude out more, some protrude out in this way, some like are like that. It's just quite different. But they all form part of the stone. So basically all the steps that you take, they all merge together as part of the path. That was a bit deep, isn't it? Anyway, so like basically it kind of the path. This is so fucking wanky, I'm sorry, but the path is the path. Does that make sense? Shit. Deep philosophical fucking shit, man. Anyway, yeah, like the path is the path. So every step that you are taking, even if it seems like it's not the right step, it is part of the path. That's what that little Sputnik of Aragonite is telling me. Let's see what this card says. Dagger. Okay. Now these cards, as I said, to pile 1 and 2. Which, can I just say, if you are attracted to either of the piles, go watch them, because they are a story, right? Pile 1 is part 1. Pile 2 is part 2. And pile 3, we have no idea what's going to happen there yet. So we'll wait and see what happens. But this, it's really interesting how this reading has kind of like panned out. This deck that I'm using is called the Odyssey deck. And what's really interesting is that I took a break between pile 2 and 3. Between pile 2 and 3. Just to get something to eat. Took a quick break, basically. And I was just thinking about it. And I realized that actually like the stages of the Odyssey is present within the reading. So it's just a really interesting analogy of what's going on in terms of the path, because that's what the theme of this reading is. It's about the path. It's about what are the next steps on this path. So I thought that that was fucking interesting. So let's have a look at this. We've got 41. 41 is 5. So the Hierophant. Let's have a look at this. Hold on. Let's have a look at the card first. And then there is a poem that is, I will read to you, including the meaning. But look at that. I'm getting to this age where I have to take off my glasses now if I wear glasses, because I can't see jack. Wow, it's almost like the dagger of light, but it's also like a kind of... It's also something that's cutting through the bullshit, right? Cutting through the illusion, the clouds, the sky. Cutting a hole. Okay. Where's the numbers? Okay. Found the other two really easily, and this one's like, oh, you're not going to find me as easily. Okay. So, dagger. Now, this one came out upright, so that's how I'm going to read it. But let me read you the poem first. For so long we have fought on faith alone, have waged war on ourselves, the same battle over and over without waking. Let us find ease, the dagger whispers to the veil. Boundless light cascades through us, and we find that the fight is over. Oh my God. So, the synchronicity of these readings is just blowing my mind. It just constantly blows my mind. I love it. So upright affirmation of power, internal meets external. The dagger is where we finally cut through. It is where we draw a line in the sand and we say no to the things that we wanted to remove from our lives, and where we say yes to the life that we want to live. This is absolutely part 3 of this reading. Honestly, I think you should I think you should watch the entire thing. Yeah, it's amazing. So whoever has come to this reading, the entire 3 decks of the 3 piles are all for you. It's just a bit like a choose your own adventure story. So I think like what's happened is that depending on what pile you choose, it will just tell you to like you'll still have to go and watch the other piles. You know what I mean? Like by the way, I haven't said that in the other 2 piles. So only pile 3 will know that. But I have said to pile 1, pile 1 I don't know. Pile 1s will be the ones that I don't know if they'll watch the rest of it. But pile 2s, I'm like, oh my God, you need to go and watch pile 2. And then pile 3, I'm telling you, you need to watch the whole thing. So you're the lucky ones, pile 3. Anyway, this is where the external catches up to the internal. The dagger is honestly the moment we've been waiting for. It can come in many different forms, but it's everywhere. It's when everything comes together and we level up in a major way. The card is an affirmation of your power, and it asks you to know without doubt if you are capable of making big leaps you're wanting to. The big leaps you're wanting to. So the art of the card described by the artist, for dagger, she really wanted to create that visceral sensation of breaking through, which we get. I wanted it to feel energetic, which comes through in the colour, but also in the way that the dagger has cut through. It hasn't done it precisely, but with a need, right? Without care for what spills forth. That is the space of the dagger. It is speaking truth, because knowing it so strongly that all repercussions do not matter, because truth is the only thing that matters in this moment. Oh my God. Okay. So, pile 3, we start with something really intense and cracking. You are the harbinger of truth. I might re-record the beginning, you know, and add that on, because I think you need to watch all of them. I think you need to watch all the readings, but you don't have to. But I would highly recommend you to do it. If you can stomach like 3, like, you know, 3 different readings. Okay, so we have got the 4 of coins, the the King of Wands. I love how in this deck all the kings are birds, and the 9 of Swords, the 8 of Swords reversed, and the 10 of Cups. Interesting. You know, I said to pile 2 and 3 1, this is not an easy path, but it's a path of truth. I think, you know, something had been causing you like quite a lot of worry previously. So now you're thinking, for me to kind of work forward and actually walk on the path, I have to be true to myself. There has been a lot of worry and anxiety, and to be honest, like, it's just really interesting how we have like these 3 swords here, like a whole shit ton of swords. So we have 9 swords there, then 7 swords here, so that's 16, 17. 17 swords, 17 equals to the tower. Yes, the tower. But then 1 plus 7 equals strength. So the destruction of your previous kind of understandings and belief systems will give rise to truth that permeates through. So I don't know, man. Seems like you've got like maybe the hardest job out of the 3 piles. And it's weird because it almost seems like this might be the first step. Because it's like, yeah, the other steps, the 1 and 2, it's almost like 3 is 1, 1 is 2, and 2 is 3. So if you were going to watch it, I would watch it in that order, because like the different readings, because it seems here that you have come from a space where you've been like you've built this tower. It's mad because it's Rapunzel and she's in the tower. And that's not a great thing. Like, that's meaning that you're building a tower or you're living in some kind of space which you believe is, I mean, there's liberation here, but like, this is, and yeah, I don't know, I think someone comes and tells you, you get some kind of clarity, and it's so fucking interesting. The bird is looking up there, man. The bird is looking up there. The one card, well, I mean, that's definitely better reversed, and this one, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, these are the 2 cards that you want, like that. And he's looking up at that. Shit, that's mad. So I think you know that you're living in some kind of defensive phase, and you know that you have to move beyond it. You don't fucking like it, but you know it will. You know that this is the right decision to make. This is why I say that it's almost like you're thinking about what you have to do, whereas like pile 1 is the doing of it, like the initial like, oh, do I fucking have to do this? All right, let me go and do it. Oh, it's actually all right. And then number 2 is like kind of like the understanding of, this is the path. This is how I walk it. Yeah, there's this kind of like where you've built yourself some kind of structure where you feel stable, but you know it's it traps you. It's 4 though, so I don't know how conscious you are. I mean, to be honest with you, the consciousness is here because you've got the 10 of swords. Sorry, the King of Swords. Now the King of Swords, that's not someone who doesn't know what's going on. That's someone who damn well knows what's going on. And not only do they know what's going on, they tell you what's going on. They communicate with you clearly that this is the state of affairs. So I don't know how that comes across. I don't know if that's you communicating to yourself or if that's someone else communicating to you. But, or, you know, you might even see something because it looks like, because of the bird looking at the sword, you might see something. So, okay, I'll share with you something that I saw the other day. Like, I saw basically this really horrific thing on Instagram where, I don't know if you have heard of it in the States, my American watchers, but like this, I saw this guy like protest. I don't know where he was, but he was a Marine, and basically he was protesting against what happened recently in Gaza, and he was saying that this is not his war, like for for what's going on right now in terms of the US retaliating with Iran. That's not his war. And he protested that. And then he, like, I saw on social media the manhandling of him, and it was horrific. And I even saw his arm, like his arm got broken, like right in front of, like, I saw it there, like you actually heard everything. And it was an absolute shock. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, after that, I don't know how I can go on Instagram again with the same kind of, like, or social media again with the same vigor as I did previously. I was a bit numb to it after, like, directly afterwards, but like, that is going to stay with me. That image is going to stay with me, and that is what that's what I'm feeling when I see that dagger there. And also, like, the other thing as well that I saw is, like, just seeing so much social media talking about how these influencers in Dubai are just kind of like carrying on life as normal in Dubai, as these influencers, thinking that, you know, because they traveled to Dubai thinking that they were like living that life, but really they're up the creek. They're not going to be able to sustain the life that they had because of what's going on currently. And I've also got a friend of mine who's actually had to be flown out of there. So she got on a flight today, which was crazy. She didn't even know she was flying out today. But I'm just praying that she gets back safely. So yeah, I'm just like, it's like that. It's moments like that. Sorry to bring it so close to home, but that's like, that's the first thing that came to my head, and I'm going to share it with you because it's about that kind of stark reality that's hitting home. And it's interesting because then that matches quite nicely with this idea of, like, you know, things plaguing you. Like, how can you sleep when those sort of things are going on? How can you cope when those sort of things are going on? But it liberates you. It liberates you to understand that you are your own person. You recognize the truth for yourself, and no longer will you be blindfolded to stuff that's going on, and you will start to live your life in the way that you should. Now, unfortunately, the Ten of Cups is here reversed. So what that says to me is that it will actually show you how unhappy you've been. And the reason why I laugh is because sometimes we delude ourselves. We put ourselves into a position where we feel that we are happy with what's going on, and actually we're not. And time is ticking. Like, time is going on. Time is going faster. There's been lots of, like, rumors about how, like, fucking CERN has been doing some crazy shit, and how time is, like, going a bit weird. Like, say, with things like the Mandela effect and stuff like that. Now, I have no idea, okay? I'm just speculating and chatting shit because we're just talking about a tarot reading here. But, like, I just think it's interesting. And also how we have to make the most out of every moment. Like, the only thing, and this might be after a period of 4 years, you know? You might have been in a comfortable situation after 4 years, and then things just fucking start moving. Chalices is months, so cups is months. So maybe in the last 10 months, you've noticed that something's been awry. But swords, they're all like days. Wands, days. I can't remember. I think wands is days and cups is weeks. Sorry, swords is weeks. Chalices is months. No, what are you talking about? Yeah, chalices is months and coins is years. So, yeah. So if we were to look at it from a time perspective, king would be 13, but I don't know if that's applicable. This is more about people and about how they are. So I think this is to do with the person. If we were to look at it like, you know, theoretically, and 9, that would be like the last 9 weeks, what's been going on. And then you've been in the process of freeing yourself in over a period of 8 weeks. And then you've managed to get over that. And this has been a realization about the last 9 months, if you want to look at it in that way. But I don't know, that might not resonate at all. So I'm not gonna put anything on that. It's just if that resonates. Sorry, I just want to get some incense. Bear with me. Okay, so let's clarify some cards. Why is it like one random card is always turning over? What is it? The Knight of Wands. Okay, it was reversed. But yeah, I've been shuffling the cards in this reading, and one random card is just turning over. I don't know what's going on. I know it's probably Spirit trying to tell me something. I should pay attention to the cards. I know. God, I'm such a skeptic. Oh, it's useful though. It means that I'm always constantly surprised and my ego just keeps in check like most of the time. That's what I tell myself anyway, loves. I don't know if it actually works, but we'll see. Oh, fudge cakes, okay. I need only 5, Spirit. You know how you like play with me. And you do this. Just give me 5, yo. Okay, we've got the 10 of Swords. Bleeding neck, right? 10 of Swords. 8 of Cups. The Lovers. 2 of Cups. Okay, for some of you, this could be about relationship. The Hermit reversed. Okay. Yeah, for some of you, this is about a relationship. So maybe I gave you something quite dramatic. But I mean, like, I've been single for a long time. So it's got nothing to do. So I just used the closest example that I have. But maybe this is about, like, the ending of a relationship. It could be about the ending of a relationship. It also could be about... could be about entering a relationship as well. Shit. And that's about you telling me what that means. I don't know. Yeah, because maybe it's about the expectations that are put onto relationships that actually have been... That's it. I don't know, some of you might have like entered into a relationship where you think that it was like great and you thought that that was the one. And then what's happened is then actually you've realized that it's just like some kind of rebound energy. And then it's just made you think, fuck, I need to really reevaluate what it is I actually want within a relationship. For those that are not in a relationship, how would you... I mean, this is full on like relationship energy. Because this is definitely like, for me, this is saying like, you realise that you don't want to be alone, but it's almost about understanding why you're not alone for the right reasons, you know what I mean? Or why you want to be, why you're being single for the right reasons. You know, some people are involuntary single, aren't they? They're not single because they want to be, right? I cannot believe that this reading, the entire readings are like 2 hours long, over 2 hours. So each reading is like working out to be about 40 minutes long. This is crazy. Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. Okay, I see what's going on. So, right. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. So, it's in my Substack, okay? I've talked to, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the reading. I don't think I did, actually. But basically, I've been working on a Substack, and that's been the work that I've just opened a Substack, and this is where I'm going to discuss a particular concept that I've developed. And the start to this concept, or the start to the explanation of this concept, is basically how I spiritually bypassed myself. And if you're not in a, like what I just gave you just there was like the kind of like surface meaning in terms of like a relationship, that's what it could be. But this is a spiritual bypass. So the Ten of Swords is the devastation of the event, like the initial like castle of where you believe that you've been in. And this was by me, like you'll see it in the Substack. I don't know whether or not you should go and read it or whether or not I should tell you the story. But in very short terms, there was a certain thing that I believed, and I thought that I was going to be able to get it. It was like, it wasn't a personal relationship, but it was acceptance from those that I love. And this was something that I continued to revisit, and I couldn't come away from it, which is the Eight of Cups reversed. And it needed something as strong as the King of Swords for me to like realize. And it was actually a male figure that told me something that absolutely broke my heart. It wasn't a romantic relationship, but it was a relationship that caused me a lot of pain for them to like express that feeling. And funnily enough, this like usually they say that the you know that the air signs are represented by the swords. So this person was also an air sign as well. So it was just like very, very uncanny. Now I'm thinking about the synchronicity of this. And you know, I realized here with this Nine of, you know, this was the whole thing. This is about my yearning for wanting this type of relationship. I wanted it so bad that I actually was able to construct this kind of like, I was fully bypassing myself by believing that I was going to get this relationship from these people if I behaved in a certain way. You'll see it in the Substack if you want all the details. I'm not going to tell them here. I'll just give you the short version. And then here is where I realised that actually I need to choose myself. The Lovers and the Two of Cups is about choosing, well, the Lovers is more about choosing yourself. And the Two of Cups is what what kind of relationships make you flourish, make you grow, make you be the beautiful version of you that you should be. And that's where I realized, like, actually there are relationships in my life that nourish me far more than the relationships I'm trying to fucking get. So I need to go towards those. And I had been so unhappy thinking that I had to be alone, because I fully believed that I had to do this alone. And I did, to a certain extent. But it was almost like it enforced, you know. Instead of me just and this is hard, you know. Like instead of me enjoying the time I'm being alone, I was craving the whole time for connection. So that caused me so much unhappiness. The hermit to me is somebody who, like, basically it's like that whole thing where you're surrounded by people but nobody gets you. You know, being lonely in a crowd full of people. That's the hermit reversed. Whereas the hermit is happy on their own. They love it. The hermit reversed is somebody who's around people, who really needs to be alone and needs to appreciate themselves fully while being alone, but is distracting themselves with bullshit. So yeah, this is a tale of spiritual bypass. That's what this is. Fuck, man. Pile 3, you always get it, don't you? I told you. So this is the path at the moment, man. One thing I said to the other piles, like the only kind of, like, we've got 4 years here. We've got Pentacles, and it's 4, so it's a very small amount of time. It's not a long amount of time. Everything else is Cups and Swords, so it's very quick. But the problem is that when things are quite heavy, emotions are quite heavy, when these kind of instances are quite difficult, the vibration is heavier, so it seems longer and denser. But just, they actually are not as tough. They're not as tough as we make them out to be. And that's why this clarity has got to be optimal. So what's your path? The next steps on your path, pile 3, is that there is sadness. There is a return to what you have been bypassing yourself with. And then there's this realization of the actual bypass. Like, what is it that you've been bypassing yourself with? What is it that you've been, like, trying to strive for? And then finally choosing the right choice for you. Finally, like, going towards the things that make you live. And also realizing that you have been making yourself, well, not even you, because the Hermit is it's a major. So for me, that's something to do with external circumstances as well. It's not just you. It's basically, you know, understanding how all the external circumstances coalesce into making you feel this way. And it's being alone. And it's been very painful. Very painful. I feel this. This is fucking deep, man. I tell you, this is why I don't read tarot for myself, man. It's so painful. It's so painful. But it's good. It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm walking this through with you, man. you're not on your own, pile 3. I'm doing this with you. Because I feel it. I feel it. Okay, so what now? Can we have some nice oracle cards to make this a little bit lighter? And tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to do with this. Oh, shit. Nah, I mean, God, choosing yourself, man, it's so beautiful. Did I mention this in the other readings? I think I mentioned this in the first, in the reading that I did for what role are you meant to be in this lifetime. But I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. No, I mentioned it in one of the other 2 readings. I watched it and I tell you, like, I cried. Like, I've seen that film 5 times, but I cried so hard. And I cried for different reasons. And it was just like, honestly, I was wrecked after I watched it. Wrecked. I was just wrecked. Because of all the grief, all the sadness for everything that I couldn't get, everything that, you know, the generational trauma of my own stuff. Fucking mourned it all. Yeah, I find films quite cathartic. I didn't expect it to be as cathartic, but it was. Anyway, Leo, 5th house. Okay, so why did I think that said food? Maybe food. Listen, right? If you're hungry, go and eat. Strength, celestial body, sun, courage, loyalty, charisma, leadership, generosity, protective, jealous, and drama. Leo. Okay. So what I'm getting from that is, I mean, I don't know. First thing that came to mind was passion and drama. We do have the 10 of Swords here. We do. And 10s came up quite a lot over this reading. We got 10 of Swords quite a few times. We got 10 of Wands. We didn't get the 10 of Pentacles, which is interesting, because the 10 of Pentacles would have been consistent with the tale of the Odyssey. But, I mean, I don't think that the actual card is about that. But anyway, that's probably why it didn't come up. But I think that there's something about you being proud, excuse me, and also being strong. You know, Leo is about like containing the family, and that family doesn't necessarily have to be like your external family. It can be about the family that is within yourself. You know, the different parts of yourself that are with you and keeping you safe. You know, everybody has it in different ways. With me, I have my power animals, and they are my family, and making sure that they're close with me, and that's where I'm finding the joy in my love and my heart. And that's here as well with Leo, choosing the joy. You are in the relationship with your joy. Like you are in this like beautiful like relationship where you're in love with it. Like, you know, when people go out and they work on their body, and they go and like, you know, they're in this like relationship with their body. They're like, you know, they're liking what they see. They're appreciating it. When I'm creating things, I'm like appreciating them, liking them, building this relationship with them. So it's the same thing. Having that passion for love. Wow, truth. Number 18, that's the moon. No, it's the star. Yeah, it's no, it's the moon. I don't know. What is it, people? I'm terrible with that. I think it's either the star or the moon. Hold on. I think it's the star. I think 19 is the moon. But then when is the sun? Oh dear. I've always got like looking like I'm referencing stuff. So bad. Oh God. Anyway, truth. It's about the truth of a situation, understanding the pure truth of a situation, and this beautiful colour. You know, this. It's weird. I look at this and I think of the top chakra, but it's actually the throat chakra. Fucking hell. Where is this thing? There we go. Right, so no, oh shit, 17. I thought it was the tower. I referenced one of the other cards as it's actually the star. But yeah, this is the moon. No, it's not. It's the sun. Yeah, it's the sun. No, it's the moon. It's the moon. God, you wouldn't think I've read tarot for 20 years, would you? Right, okay, so the moon, truth. Also equates to number 9, which is the Hermit. The truth shall set you free, you know. The truth shall set you free. can't even talk. Yeah. Let's keep going. Slow down, don't rush things. Well, I mean, I'm going to put that right next to Leo, because all Leos I know are just chill AF, man. They are just chill. They even look alike, you know. They're just like, yeah, sup. Don't matter. I'm just going to do my thing. And I'm just going to do what I'm doing. Because this thing is, like, quite painful, man. You can't, like, you can't stride through grief. You have to just move through it, because it's like walking through sludge. You know that scene in the Never-Ending Story when Atreus is going through the swamp of sadness? That's what this shit is, man. That is what this is. This is going through the swamp of sadness. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to, like, swear so much, because... But I tell you, like, when something is heavy for me, I end up cursing a lot, because I'm just like... There's no other words that describe. I'm not very good with my... I'm not very articulate when it comes to, like, that thing. But I need to also stop saying that, because I'm trying to get better with my articulation. So, I mean, I can speak well, but in terms of the vocabulary of articulation, I think I want to be much better than I am. Wow, snow leopard, look at that. The Watcher. I love that. And it's number 15. Number 15 equates to the devil. So there we are. Right. Now, let me read from the book. Well, before I do that, right, snow leopard, for one thing, I thought a snow leopard was this fluffy thing that was really cute, because there's a journey group that I have with shamanic journeying, and one of my fellow journeyers has snow leopard, and she's always talking about how soft and fluffy it is. But listen, yeah, they are like some hardcore predators. They are not they're not, they may be fluffy, but they're not like, not that, they're not like teddy bears. Take the high road. Do not sink to the level of the low vibration. Observe the situation closely before acting. Being silent is an option. Ethics is the #1 concern. Yes, ethics. Best not continue. It is best not to continually draw attention to yourself for the sake of filling up your ego. A little mystery is a good thing. Okay. Oh, it's got a cool little story with it. I'm going to read it to you. In the valley surrounded by high rocky mountains lived by the people. In the high passes in the valley surrounded by high rocky mountains lived the people. The people. In the high passes within the rocks between the sky and the land, above the flapping of the prayer flags, lived the spirits of the mountains. Some of these spirits are Bodhivistas, the compassionate energies that help people take the more right and ethical path. These spirits took the form of the most elusive and beautiful creature that lived among the high places, the snow leopard. Love that. The snow leopards watched the people, yet were very rarely seen themselves. Their paw prints might have been occasionally found on a ridge overlooking the valley, but were not spotted. But they were not spotted. These watchers of the skies rewarded those who helped others. It is said too that the snow leopards, ever observing, would place obstacles in the path of those who did evil in order for them to realize their mistakes and change. And if something was not right, the leopards would wail mournfully for all to hear. They say spotting a snow leopard is difficult is an understatement. They live in the most mountainous regions of the Himalayas, Russia, Mongolia, and Western China. They do not roar like lions, but instead they vocalize in mews, chuffs, and most notably a wailing sound that echoes for long distances. That's mad. So the magic is all about being the silent watcher. Western society is an extroverted one with an emphasis on the individual and being seen, yet there is much advantage to examining things quietly and observing before making decisions. Taking your time and observing is the next steps. Before you decide the next steps is wise. Taking your time and observing a situation before you decide the next steps is wise. Vulnerability is the key word. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, right, is just you need to just take your time, because what you're working through right now, the steps that you're taking at the moment are pretty delicate. They're involving like some kind of real kind of questioning of vulnerability and ethics. And you need to maintain truth and integrity. So I'll be honest with you, part 3. This could be part 1 or part 3. Like, as in like part 1 or part 3. So I've got a feeling you could return to this. I think each of the stages you could return to. I really might need to do a preface for this reading, for the whole lot of readings, because they are a collection indeed. Anyway, we haven't finished yet. Still got 2 cards to go. Right. Can I just say though, also, like, if this idea of spiritually bypassing yourself resonates, please do take care of yourself. Please. That's all I say. Be kind to yourself. Okay, and just keep watching. One spirit guide, one way. Oh, that's deep, man. Okay. I'm going to have to have a look at the book for that. Because I don't know. I mean, okay, how would I interpret that first before I, like, crack on with the book? Oh, fuck. One spirit guide, one way. I've got a feeling about this, but I need to confirm, because I'm not sure. And it's number 21, so that's the world equating to 3. Let me just double check, because I'm not sure. And I don't want to misinterpret that. Okay. Clear your mind of all conflicting knowledge and trust the path you've chosen, and soon you'll be moving towards more spiritual practices. This is the time for you to trust your spirit guides and get you to the next level of your life. You've put in a lot of hard work already, but once you've turned the next corner, your path will open up and your way will be clear. Trust your spirit guide now. So, okay, so the way I see it from here, yeah, because, okay. Because, you know, there's this thing of like where you may have believed one thing, and then this kind of like concept of spiritually bypassing arises, if that's the case. But that's what's being reflected within the reading. How do you trust what you're believing in? How do you maintain that sense of integrity? And the way you do it is by how you've gone so far, because it's gotten you to this point of you understanding that you had been bypassing yourself. Now, spiritually bypassing yourself doesn't mean that your faith was the issue. It's the way you conducted your faith. Does that make sense? So, for example, like, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in. It's fine. It's fine to believe in whatever you want to believe in. But if that thing completely clouds your judgment in terms of reality, then you have an issue. So, for example, if your judgment clouds your ability to be able to love the people that are in your life in a loving and just way and accepting them for who they are, then there's an issue. People spiritually bypass in so many different types of ways. So it's difficult to kind of like get down to the nitty-gritty in terms of like what exactly it is or it could be. I'm trying to think of some examples. The only thing that's coming to mind is like when people like forsake their children, or they do something that basically forsakes their family in order to pursue religion. No. But then if like, you know, you've been praying to God and God has been helping you, you know, or you've been following whatever, and that has been helping you, that's been helping you do something, that's been helping you find faith, that's been helping you like feel good in the world, then follow that. But then it's also recognizing where it's made you miserable. Don't follow that. That's what that's saying. So I had to look at the book because I was just a little bit confused by that. But as I said, pile 3, your messages are never easy. Anyway, last card to put out this reading. One, 3, 3, 1. Take time to meditate. When you see this angel hour, you are being encouraged to engage with spirit through meditation and quiet self-reflection. You will be given the answers you seek. The angels are guiding you and you are ready to answer your questions. Well, it looks like you've got quite a few questions, pile 3, no? There is a lot of meditation energy here, though, in terms of the colours that are showing. There's a lot of purple here. So, pile 3, that's all I have for you. Well, I don't think that's all. I think it's like there's a lot here for you to chew on. But I hope that this reading was useful. And go and watch the other readings if you feel drawn to. I don't know if you necessarily would. But these 3 readings have been very interesting, and I'd be very interested to hear from those of you who do watch all 3 of them, because they do have a narrative. And they're powerful readings. So what are the next steps for you to take? Pile 3 is just basically recognize the castles that you've built yourself around. Recognize the step of awakening. This whole kind of process of spiritual bypass, man. It's a journey in itself. I don't know, like, that's the process. And I don't know, you might think I'm chatting shit. If this reading doesn't resonate, then it doesn't resonate. But for those that it does, then you're going to be okay, man. You're going to be okay. Just slow down, take your time. Follow the energy of what I've said with the oracle cards, and you'll be good. I love you. Take care, my wonderful, wonderful collective. You mean the world to me, and your messages have been amazing. They really have meant a lot. And do share if you wish. Have a wonderful morning, evening, night or day whenever you're choosing to watch this, my loves. And remember, honesty. It's fucking hard, but it is always key. All right, darlings. Bye.